This week on This is Gravel, we have Leland Days, we have Dirty Kanza, we have the scheduled events for next week, we have social media, and we have peanut butter. Hi, welcome to This is Gravel. I am Bobby Thompson. Sitting next to me is Leland Days. Leland, it's getting pretty busy here in Emporia, Kansas.
That it is.
DK week's coming up.
Yeah, we are less than 2 weeks away. We're about a week away.
A week away from DK. Well, definitely a week away from people coming to town for DK. This is Thursday. They usually come to town Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Have you been getting tons of emails, tons of phone calls?
Absolutely. A lot of people are excited, last minute questions, and we're trying to get everyone sorted, and just can't wait to get them in town and get this thing underway.
Do you have any last minute date night plans with Christina since you won't see her for another week?
That would have been a good thing to do.
Okay. He'll get on that. Okay. Don't watch this yet, Christina. Okay.
Yes, the answer is yes. I do have something planned.
Well, the bike shop's been getting busy. I started, working down there in Gravel City, and we've had more than a couple handful of bikes that are going to be shipped to us next week. So that'll keep us busy.
Excellent.
Not to mention the local riders. We've got to see everybody in town coming to town and buying stuff off the shelves like crazy. Restock again for next week. So it's been a blast. So getting ready for that.
Excellent. Well, according to your own images, you and Jeff got out for a pretty lengthy ride here recently, doing some final DK prep too.
Yeah, we had one last big ride before a Dirty Kanza. We were going to do Almanzo, and with all due respect to Almanzo, it looked very cold and very wet, and I've already had a couple of cold, wet rides this year. So we decided we went down to the Oklahoma border and we rode 180 miles back to Emporia, Kansas. So that was our last big ride tapering event. It was nice though. It was kind of a shakedown ride for the equipment. We loaded up the bike, we got ready, and we did notice a few things that we wanted to change, a few things that we need to get ready for the DK for our next big 200-mile ride. So speaking of that, Adam from One Take Blake from Gravel City Bike Shop had a chance to speak with Matt, and he's going to talk about some last minute checks you might want to do on your bike.
Hi, this is Adam from Gravel City Adventure and Supply Company, giving you a few tips on pre-race checkovers for your bike. A couple things we like to do is check for anything loose. This is stuff that goes beyond the shifting and the braking of the bike. We're going to check to make sure wheels are installed properly, chain is lubed, and we don't have any loose bits. At this point going into Dirty Kanza, hopefully you've had service done on your bike and your bike is in pretty tip-top shape, but this is expecting you to maybe pull a bike out of a car for travel or for packing the bike, something like that. After we have a complete bike, something I like to do is grab the front brake and give a gentle shake forward and backwards. That's going to check to see if there's any play in the headset. Many times when you have to remove a stem and handlebars for packing, you have to recompress that headset, and a gentle holding of the brake and shaking is going to tell you if you've got something loose up there. Also, we're going to grab both wheels and try to shake them back and forth. That's going to let us know that our skewers are tight or our through axles are tight, and we don't have any additional play in our bearings. One thing I like to do is a simple drop test. We want to listen for any vibration or reverberation, any noise that's going to come out of that. A couple of simple drops is easy. Obviously the chain is going to make a little noise bouncing up and down, but what we're listening for is a loose saddle, loose handlebars, things like that. Something everyone should do right before race day is get some lubricant on the chain. We recommend a dry lubricant, something a little less viscous around here. And we do recommend putting some lube at your checkpoint aid stations. It's going to make it so that chain is going to run smoother and quieter all day long. Wet lube tends to get dirty and attract dust, and so we recommend a dry lube. Obviously, air pressure is something you should be familiar with by Dirty Kanza time. Knowing how much you run and setting the tires up to that particular PSI should be something that you're very comfortable with. Grab the saddle, play fore and aft. It's gonna check to see if that's loose. And if you have the capability, if you have a multi-tool, getting a multi-tool on each of your stem clamp bolts and handlebar bolts is gonna be a great thing to check to make sure it's tight. Any bolt that you see with a multi-tool, you're not generally gonna exceed torque unless you're really cranking on it. So you can check for tightness with a multi-tool. Outside of that, like I said, we're not going over shifting or braking. Hopefully those have been done in a pre-race tune-up or pre-race service, and that you've been riding the bike and know that that's something that's going to be working flawlessly to make your race best chance for success. You get here and you notice that something's just amiss, something's not quite right. Come on in to 716 Commercial Street, Gravel City Adventure and Supply Company, and we can get you taken care of.
Thank you, Adam, for that bit of information. And I've got to ask, why is there peanut butter on the table? Is this a snack? Did you miss lunch?
Okay, see, I got really confused. Matt sent me a text late last night, and he said, just be ready to talk about peanut butter. It's all anybody wants to talk about. I assumed he meant my love of peanut butter. Matt meant peanut butter as in mud that you would ride through on the DK.
Yes, yes.
So I now have a large quantity of peanut butter that I'll have to work my way through. I can only say this, that I would gladly ride through all this, but if you're gonna ride through this one here, the jelly might be a little sticky throughout the day. But other than that, that's my report on peanut butter.
It all looks terrible to think about riding through any of that.
Yeah, but great to eat. Okay, we have DK coming up. We're gonna talk about DK scheduled events. And you're the man to
You can find these posters around town. A lot of merchants around Emporia will have these schedule events posters in their windows. But you can also download the Athlinks Race Day app, and that'll have the schedule events on it as well. And I would encourage you to do that, because even though I can tell you all this, I can hardly remember it, and I don't expect you to memorize it. And so it'll be nice to have it at your fingertips. But starting Thursday, we've got the Reverend Horton Heat and Agent Orange performing at the Granada Theater. First time we've had a concert. Well, maybe not the first time, but first time in quite some while we've had a concert there. Friday is when things really kick off. Goo Energy Labs, Yuri Oswald and Nat Shobin have been huge in getting involved at DK this year. They've really stepped it up, and there will be a Goo Stroopwafel and coffee ride. Coffee thanks to Java Cat and Granada Coffee, or Gravel City Roasters and Granada Coffee here in Emporia. And of course the Stroop Waffles provided by Goo Energy. That ride is a good time to shake out the legs, say hi to friends, get the travel legs shook out, and then afterwards Red Kite Prayer will be doing a reading in the Arts Council where that starts and ends. So really fantastic opportunity to eat some waffles, drink some coffee, listen to poetry, shake out the legs. You get to ride with Yuri. What more do you need? Seriously. Let's see. The rider sign-in, of course, and the expo are going on all day, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Gotta sign in. Everyone has to do it. So that's something that's a must. 200 women riding 200 miles round table. This will be live streaming on our Dirty Kanza Facebook page as well. Thank you, producer Matt. So if you can't be here in person and you're watching from far off lands, wishing you were at DK this weekend, have no fear. You can tune in and watch some live streaming throughout the day on Friday, this being one of them. Rider meeting, first session will be live streamed as well if you can't be there at the Granada Theater. We'll have a DK Tech Talk. Envy Wheels, Maxxis Tires, and Orange Seal will be, some engineers will be on hand talking all things wheels. So if you like to get techie, this will be a great thing to check out.
At the Granada Theater.
Yeah, and hugely important to events like Dirty Kanza and other gravel rides. This is probably one of the most talked about subjects, is wheels and tires.
That's just Friday.
That's just Friday.
That's insane.
Then we got to get riding on Saturday. 6 a.m. 200-mile riders start off, and then in 20-minute intervals from there, everyone else. And of course, we've got the all-day, well, from 11 a.m. on Emporia Main Street, right here in Emporia, puts on the Finish Line Block Party. And producer Matt was able to catch up with Casey Casey Woods, the director of Emporia Main Street, and talk about the block party.
The block party this year is going to be bigger than ever. It's 3 blocks long this year as opposed to 2. So the 600 block of Commercial Street will be the kids zone. So we'll have bouncy houses and face painting and the kids bike parade and all sorts of children's activities from about 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So all sorts of different things for the entire family. And then the 700 and 800 block will contain one giant beer garden. There's actually a beer named after the Dirty Kanza. We'll have tons of different food booths. There will be some bike vendor pieces. There are lots of different community organizations. It's a lot of fun. And of course, we'll have the finish line shoot. So you'll see the riders come in as they've come off that 100 or 200 mile course right through the heart of downtown. So cowbells will be ringing everywhere, and usually we'll have 6,000 or 7,000 people rooting all the different riders on, so it's a blast. All of our vendors will be set up by 11 a.m. This year, with the increase in ridership within the 100-mile riders and some of the different people that are participating in the 50. We felt like it was important to have more food vendors and other vendors available for people earlier in the day. And then throughout the day, we're going to have a variety of different activities. So you'll see riders come through depending on how fast they are in the weather conditions, anywhere from 4:30 till about 6:30. And then throughout the evening, we'll have different events and activities going on till about 11:30 p.m. midnight, and then we'll have the chutes open until about 3 a.m. So there's face painting and there's all sorts of different kids activities till 8, and then after that you'll have more music and more vibrant atmosphere for adults late into the evening. Riders tell us every year that they're coming in, they're exhausted, and then they hear the cowbells ring, they see the thousands of people cheering for them, their arms go up on their bikes, and suddenly they're full of energy again, and we love to see that.
Thank you, Casey. That block party is not one to be missed. Even if you're not riding, we highly encourage all families to come down there and check it out. Lots to do for everybody. And then Sunday morning, 3 a.m., the finish line closes. 3 a.m. Sunday, and I will be there. Still giving out hugs if you want it. Handshake or a pat on the back. Or you can just tell me to get lost. You're not a affectionate kind of person. Yeah, whatever. And then the award ceremony at the Granada Theater this year. That's at 8 a.m. Granada Theater award ceremony. We'll change a venue there. So, and of course, Gravel City is open from 8 to noon. Bobby, you working that day?
I may be working the day. We'll see what Adam says. I love the award ceremony because I actually love walking across the street from one of the parking lots into the award ceremony because it's like the zombie walk. You just have, I mean, it is a struggle just to get out of bed and get to the award ceremony, but it's a great ceremony to attend.
Tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And probably something like $20,000 worth in prizing that we're giving away after the podium awards are given out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to be fast and get on that podium, get your picture taken, get a little medal or whatever, but great podium trophies from Studio 11, but the real swag gets handed out afterwards, and everyone's got an equal shot of winning some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
So, worth showing up for. That's the schedule.
That's the schedule.
Only a little snapshot. There's so much more going on. So get into Emporia, download that app, get your bearings straight, and take it all in. Have some fun.
I just can't wait. So excited. I think Matt got some social media pictures that he wants to put out there too.
Excellent. I love seeing
We'll take a slight break and we'll go into social media.
Thanks, guys. Our social media has been a flurry of activity with all the nice spring riding weather, with people posting pics and telling us about their rides. Alex Morgan got on the bike and checked out some canyon riding near Post, Texas. Glenn went out and explored some B roads somewhere in the Flint Hills. Looks like an awesome day for that. Jason Shear was out doing some DK training near Bentonia, Mississippi with Wendy. Jefe Morales riding near the Everglades in Florida. There was a big event down there this last weekend, and we tweeted out the photo gallery they sent us on our Twitter. Matthew Browning was out exploring 2-track gravel roads in Oregon. Mike Reynolds went out and checked out Monarch Pass on the Continental Divide. That looks kind of cold right now. Simon went out and rode Almanzo last weekend. Looked like a great time up there, though a little wet for my taste. Vinny went down and explored a ride down to the Gulf of Mexico and back. That looks like a great day on the bike. As always, check out all of the Gravel Guru's social media online. Share your pics of your rides and let us know what's going on. Thanks.
Okay, on to questions and answers. This is my favorite part of the show, Bobby. Just because I love hearing your answers.
Okay. I like eating peanut butter.
Yes, I think we know. So, first and foremost, beyond eating peanut butter, what music do you listen to during the Dirty Kanza?
Am I going to get yelled at for saying I listen to music while I ride my bike?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Is that a whole other discussion? Okay,
This
before
was a
we
trap.
get into
This was a trap.
This is a trap. Okay, let me say that the 180 miles I rode with Jeff last weekend, we had no music on. It was a great ride. So riding without music is
We
great.
actually talked to each other for
Yes.
that long?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, well, off and on. I mean, mostly he left me behind and I was trying to catch up most of the day.
Oh, okay.
But I do have music on, and many people do ride with music. I will say this: if you ride with music, do the one earbud in, one earbud out. How's that?
Thank you.
Good
Thank
compromise
you.
at least?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of music do I listen to? Well, I would never listen to pop music because pop music is not good music to listen to. And if I did it, I'd blame it totally on my daughters if I listened to pop music. So
No Katy Perry? Some
I have a
Lady
little bit of
Gaga?
country. I have a little bit of 60s, 70s, 80s rock, that kind of stuff. Big hair bands, stuff that when I was a kid that I liked. It kind of takes me back a little bit, helps me out. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm a punk rocker through and through. That gets me jazzed up.
You gotta color your hair this year?
Just keep it. I guess I need to make the official statement, people. Remember, this is an open to the public course. You will be out there with other traffic, albeit very little traffic, but you need to be you need to keep yourself safe and those around you. So I would strongly encourage you to, at the most, only have one earbud in, if any at all. If you decide not to listen to music, let the wind and the Kansas prairie be your orchestra.
You know, can I add one thing real quick? As a music listener on the ride, the first 20 to 30 miles, keep the earbuds off.
Yeah.
It is exceptionally dangerous during that first, at least the 15, 20 miles until we all get spread out and broken up a little bit. And you usually have 2 or 3 lines, and then you have someone flying by towards the ditch just trying to get around the line. So just be very aware and focused for that 15, 20, 30 miles. So that's what I'll say about it, please. So, okay, number 2. What are the road conditions like currently?
Oh, goodness. That question has already been coming in. It's
kind of like the weather, isn't it?
DKHQ. Yeah, what's the weather? What's the road reports? I kind of refuse to give one. You know, the gravel is still out there. The roads are treacherous. This is Kansas. We've said this before. We'll say it again. Don't look at the forecast. Don't even bother. Don't stress yourself out looking at the forecast because it's kind of irrelevant this far out. It's really irrelevant till about Friday. And even then, you never know. Last year we got a 3:30 a.m. squall on Saturday morning. So, yeah.
Squall.
Yeah.
That's a good word. Okay.
It is. So don't worry about the weather. But what I would say is be prepared for all eventualities. I know that makes some tire choice maybe and setup a little bit difficult, but that's a gamble we all have to make because I'm not going to tell you one thing and listen to your complaints if I got it wrong. So,
Which you will, because it'll change.
oh, absolutely.
So, all right. I don't even have anything to comment. You did a
Got
good
anything
job.
to add on the
No.
road conditions? They're gravel.
It's hard packed right now. There's loose gravel on the surface because it's hard packed. But if we get a good rain, that'll change tomorrow. So,
What are you most excited about for DK Week, Bobby?
man, everything.
What gets you excited? I know.
Okay. Well, I'm spread. Thankfully, I'm kind of spread everywhere during DK Week, working, and I'll be moderating the Tech Talk thing. I think hopefully that works out. So then I'll be riding. I got family coming into town. You got friends coming into town. I love the energy of the event for that weekend, for the 4 days that surround Dirty Kanza. The ride is beautiful if you allow it to be beautiful. It can be painful if you let yourself go into the cave. But if you remember to look around, take a minute, stop, enjoy, eat a Snickers bar, get rid of the hangry feelings, then it's a great day on the bike. Coming to the finish line is probably my favorite part because I don't care what kind of day you have, and I don't care how accomplished rider you are, you start to get goosebumps when you hear the cowbells ringing coming down the finish line. So unfortunately that only lasts for so long. I love it when people race down the finish line. Shoot, I'm like, slow down, enjoy the time, you know? I mean, give some high fives and stuff as you're coming down. There's kids that have been ringing the bell all day long. Give them some high fives and stuff, but yeah, everything. So love it all.
Absolutely. Well, certainly it's the people. You know, Friday in particular, I'll be in and around the expo almost all day. So I've got a really great opportunity to catch everyone. So come by the expo, make sure you see me. Definitely want to see and chat with everyone on Friday. And then, yeah, Saturday. How could you say anything other than, from my perspective, that finish line? That's why we do this thing, is to see those folks coming down the chute. And like you said, that emotion on their face, and we feel the same thing, and just stoked that we can provide that opportunity for folks.
Yes, I agree. All the above.
That's all the questions we have.
That's it.
Yeah. So, if you have any questions, we won't have a formal show again before Dirty Kanza, but producer Matt, of course, will be covering DK extensively. All day Friday, tune into the Dirty Kanza Facebook page for live streaming. And then on Saturday, producer Matt will be hosting through Gravel Guru Facebook page. That way we can keep our DK Facebook page open up to make announcements and things of that nature. So, just keep a close eye on social media, Facebook in particular. That's where you'll see lots of the live streaming, and Matt will be giving highlights throughout the weekend just as quickly as he can get them, pictures, whatever, the works.
Whatever the social media stuff he does is. I don't know. It's really techie stuff.
I can't keep my head
Right.
around it. So thank you, producer Matt, for all that you do to keep the public informed and the people entertained.